man don't know shit.
I might not know shit, but I know enough. I might not know shit, but I know enough. You might call me dumb, but I have a lot of fun. I might not know shit, but I know enough. Episode 34, here we go. I got my good buddy, Mr. Chuck Coles, all the way from Toronto. He's gonna sit in, we're gonna hang out. Chuck's been a busy man. I mean, he does acoustic shows, he plays with the Creepshow, and he has a brand new band called Rules. And out on Stomp Records really soon, brand new album. So yeah, it'll be really great to catch up. And yeah, don't forget, underneath this video, there's a PayPal link. That's the Be a Producer program. Any tip, whether it's 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, $5, whatever it is, you become the producer of the next episode. So thank you to all you producers out there. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell thingy. And let's do this. Gonna hang. Chuck, my brother, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
Doing good. Where you at?
Yeah. Toronto right now. I'm just at home. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you great, man.
Can you hear the shit in the background? Because I did this before, and there was, you could just, like, when I had the TV on, it was like, you could hear all this other shit.
Oh, you hear a little bit, but it's no big deal, man. It's all good.
Okay, cool. How you doing,
Yeah,
dude?
man. Fuck, just hanging in there, trying to get busy. I was actually, hey, check this out. I want to show you something.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last few years, I've been collecting parts, all US parts, but everything came totally separate, right? Got this old,
nice.
It started with this old body that my buddy found when he was doing renovations in an empty house. And then I just slowly built it up to then, but I couldn't get a good neck until I found this, a left-handed maple neck. And it's an American made, right? But I still need a couple of things. Like the nut is still set up as a left-handed guitar, so I need a new nut because, like, it's too low on the low E strings and high on the high.
Does it like vibrates too much?
Yeah, it doesn't sit well, especially like on the high strings. There, it's just a bit too high.
Cool.
But I want to change the bridge pickup here because it's really underpowered compared to the others. For a bridge pickup. And I don't know if you've ever played Strats much. But have you ever replaced or played one with a replacement pickup?
I had a Strat a long time ago, and I put hot rails in it. The hot rails because I had a Fender Quad Reverb, and that thing, it's like you couldn't really get any distortion out of it. So you'd have to crank it. So, but with that pickup, because it's like an active pickup kind of, like it would just like it runs like hotter. So then you could get it like it crunch up, But and I had that in my. I have it in a Telly as well. I used to use a Telly with the Organ Thief stuff, and that was my main guitar. But I used that same the hot rails in that.
Right. That's cool because I was kind of debating whether I should go with the hot rails or the JBs or the Seymour Duncan ones. I've never tried them though, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that's always a delicate dance for me, all that kind of stuff. That was a friend of mine put me onto it because his dad had it in his Telly. So that's how I got into that. But I was never like, I don't know. I just kind of I used to run into something. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't like search it out. You know what I mean? It just kind of came to me, but it seemed to work. But yeah, there's so much different stuff, man. Especially like, I don't know. I've got a good network of people that are like into that stuff, so then I kind of just ask them, but I could ask around for you too, like what kind of works.
Yeah, because like I've never done it. It's the first time that I'm gonna swap out like the bridge pickup in a single coil. I've done it in double coils before, and I've never tried it, so I'm not sure. Like I was thinking of the hot rails, but then I'm scared of getting it and just being totally let down. I don't know,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you're gonna do something like that, it's good to test them out.
Sometimes that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I every time I've tried anything, I'm like, this is just it. If I put it in there, I'm using it. I'm like, I can't. I don't have enough money to like go back and forth. Switch it around. How you been though, man? You just like.
It's what it is.
That's where you're at. Yeah.
Well, like I'm not in like the city right now. Like I moved during the pandemic. I moved about 45 minutes away, up by a lake. Got a little cottage style house up here, and just kind of chilling out. Yeah, man. No, it's good, like a pandemic in the city just fucking blows, man.
No doubt. Yeah, we've been in lockdown Yeah, it's constantly. Yeah, man, we've been in lockdown forever. It feels like it's yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive, like everyone is trying to, but it's getting a little. I'm at the end of my frayed rope.
Yeah,
Man.
man, I feel you. It's freaking long, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people's lives have kind of fallen apart during this, and everybody's just kind of holding on, But at least people
Yeah,
seem to be keeping faith and know that one day
yeah,
we'll get out of this bullshit.
yeah. Like Toronto, we've had Toronto's a lot more, lot different than like the suburbs and shit like that. Like where like I went there to meet some friends and stuff like that, and you can go out and like go to a restaurant or something, But like in
Yeah,
the
man.
city, you can't do shit. So it's it's been very eye opening, that's for sure. A
Yeah,
lot of
man.
time
Hey,
to focus on
yeah.
some different
I
stuff.
got your audio well. Your video is really kind of jammed up there. I don't know if there's anything to do about that or if that's just the way it is. If it is, it's okay. The audio is what's important anyway.
It could be this shitty old computer.
Yeah, they do
I don't
that.
know. Yeah, yeah.
It's all good. It's the audio that's important. Nobody would sit there and just watch two guys' faces for an hour
Yeah,
anyway, right? They
yeah.
gotta put it on in the background,
I'd
especially our
watch your
faces.
face. Yeah,
Baby, I love you. Man, the last time I saw you, I think it was in a hotel at 6 o'clock in the morning outside of Quebec, if I remember correctly.
yeah, probably. I don't know. I thought it was at was it didn't we play at Lee's Palace in Toronto? Wasn't it the
Oh
last
shit,
one?
yeah, that's right. I don't know which one was last. It was one of those ones, that's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. It kind of
that's
all
right for
bled
the
into the bled into the same day.
exactly. That was the Stomp 25th anniversary show, right?
Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
lot of fun, man. Fuck.
yeah,
You guys killed it, man.
absolutely.
Yeah, I always love watching you guys play, man. The energy. I think that the time that I saw you guys play at Pooza Fest, that's when I was like, just the energy was so good, man.
Well, if these pandemics keep lasting and stuff, we're gonna have so much pent up energy. Somebody's gonna just say green light,
Yeah,
go on stage, and it's just gonna explode.
no doubt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be interesting when it all gets back, man. Like,
Oh,
imagine
fuck
what
yeah.
just yeah, it's gonna be cool. And I'm sure a lot of people just talk about this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like the pandemic and how it's. I I just I know that a lot of an amazing art's gonna come out of all this shit.
Well, man, something
Like
good has to come
music
out of
and
it.
just yeah, yeah. Well, if it doesn't, then we're fucked.
Right? I'm getting ready.
Yeah, yeah. Me too.
But yeah, it's funny. I was talking, I think it was with Eddie from Voodoo Glow Skulls the other day. And we're saying, as soon as we do get this green light go and everybody wants to play and we've been pent up, but like every single band in the whole world is going to want to book that first week, right? So
Oh,
my
no doubt.
prediction is this. I think it's going to be more bands on each shows for a little bit because like to kind of deal with the bookings and everybody wanting to play, I have a feeling there's going to be the lineups might be a bit longer. That's kind of one thing I was thinking about. I'm not sure.
And you know what? That's okay too. It's like I think everyone's gonna be yeah. It's gonna be hard to navigate that. Cause it's gonna be pretty crazy. Like off the hop, everyone's gonna want to play, and I guess the bigger acts are gonna have like a hold on those clubs. Uh, yeah, and like if there is more bands on the bill, I think one thing that's always bugged me is it's like you don't need a 45-minute set. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like get some other bands on there and just switch it up and have some, have ska bands and punk bands and some different different acts. You know what I mean? Like just mix it up and like try to get more. I don't know. I always loved that when I was a kid, going to shows and seeing like there's a hardcore band, a ska band, and just all, like a whole mess of different stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Opposed to just like you go
absolutely.
to a show and it's just one thing. It's like you want to see like like it says like a hardcore show or something, and then you've got like a band like Fishbone that's on there, and then it's like, and then you get something from everywhere, and I think it builds better musicians and better people. You get to understand it's like this is not so scary, or this is not like there's something to be taken from all these different angles.
Absolutely. And I guess another positive about it is like everybody's going to want to see each other, like including the bands. I mean, we're all brothers and sisters running the roads everywhere. And I miss all my
Yeah,
people, you know what I mean? So the more bands on the bill, better it is. I get to see more friends per night.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, I can't wait to like. I think that yeah, it's. I think it's probably important to do like maybe one of those stomp the way we did that before, but have everybody on the label kind of do a tour.
Yeah, I think
Like,
somebody's got to whisper about a Stomp Across Canada tour or something like that. That's what I'm kind of
yeah,
thinking.
yeah, it'd be awesome, man. I think like, and when we did that before, well, it just there was a few of us on the, like
Uh-huh.
the 25th anniversary. Those were awesome shows, man. Like if we did that everywhere, that'd be fucking pretty sweet, man.
It'd be
But yeah,
crazy.
I'm
Have to
looking
move
forward
it.
to
Between Ray Gun Cowboys, Creepshow, came on the 45, Smashers. That's a lot of psychos to move around at once. I love it.
yeah, yeah. That's a circus.
No shit.
That was
Hey,
such a good
speaking of
time.
circus, it's not really a circus, but I just saw the clip a couple of days ago. Actually, my bass player Frankie, who I'm sure says hello, by the way.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
love him, dude.
yeah, he was talking to me about the Nirvana cover on YouTube that you did on the Mikey and his Uke show. There's all kinds of people on it, and you sang "Drain Me" by Nirvana. Jesus Christ, bro, you killed it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. That's like Mikey's been a friend of mine for years. And when Creepshow played Montebello Rock Fest, Mikey, like Creepshow was on that, and then Mikey asked me if I wanted to do this cover, Nirvana cover set with Darren from Goldfinger, Mikey, me, and my friend Matt. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll do it. And I learned the set, and then we rehearsed it once, and then we played. I think after Blink 182, and it's like, and like I was like, holy shit, man! I was drinking all day. I was like, this is gonna be interesting, you know. But I didn't think, I thought we were on a small stage, but it was like Blink 182 is done, and then the crowd just moved, like just looked over, and I was like, we had the, it was fucking crazy, man. So we got a
Fucking
chance to
sick
do
way to
that.
have a jam with friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was interesting, man. It was a lot of fun. And then, but yeah, when we did that, and that went over really well. And then Mikey's been doing these since the beginning of the pandemic. He works in the front lines here in Toronto uh, at the hospital. So he's been like trying to stay, trying to get people connected and do stuff like that. I did another one with Pete from the Bouncing Souls, Brian from Wilhelm Scream, and what was that? I can't remember who was from the Flats. Uh, but yeah, we did "Thank You" by the Descendants, and then like trying to figure out how to put those together, those videos, But that's the one that I sang on that one, and then yeah, then Mikey was doing a whole bunch of other ones. He's had everybody on there, man. Like it's pretty cool to see his reach and see
It really is.
like how many people have got together throughout that. Everyone's sitting at home. You'd be surprised. Like everyone's just waiting to do something.
Man, his channel is exploding too. If for everybody out there, go check out Mikey and his Uke on YouTube. It's really sick. You'll see Chuck singing his guts out on it.
Yeah, yeah. And it was nice that he asked me to do that. I've like, over the pandemic, I've got a chance to do. We did a tribute for Chai Pig, which was a good friend of mine. And we did Big Thumbs, but that's Organ Thieves, the other band that I play in, and that has Dave as well. So like this one had Chris Number Two from Anti Flag. Darren played drums, Mikey, and then Dave from Sum 41. And Dave plays in Organ Thieves as well. So this was like, it was easy to make that thing happen because we were just on tour with Anti Flag. So
Right.
that connection was like, it's just like, hey, do you want to play bass on this? Sure. It's like, and everyone that you talk to, it's like really quick, the way it all comes together, because people are just waiting to play, like,
Well, that's
everybody
it.
wants to do something.
It is kind of cool. A lot of the online shows and stuff. I mean, obviously, it doesn't replace the real thing, and I can't wait to get back to the real thing. And I kind of got tired of it. Maybe I'm getting the second wave of energy. I don't know, but some of the things that are put together with people from all over the world, playing on these songs and getting into that full mentality of it. It's pretty fucking cool, man.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool to see. Like if people are, we're trying to do like the little things, like something different for these things too. Like try to make, like, put your own little twist on it if you can, so it's not just the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see what people like, and it's opening up all these different connections with, like, we like, at least in the punk rock community, it seems like we've all looked out for each other from day one. That's always like, if there's something, like you've got something to offer here, it's like we're all coming together in a different way, even though
Yeah.
But we can't be together, but we're trying to make that happen. And it's like, and the response for people to come together and watch these things, like I'm getting messages all the time, and it's like, holy shit, like people do care, and it's nice to have that. You know what I mean? I think that we're in a position where we're giving a lot of ourselves and we're putting it all out there, and to not be able to do that, uh, and just have this avenue to do it, it's nice to have the, people still reacting and people still caring, at least, because it's weird, like the
Absolutely.
live vibe is like, it's the like live is the only reason why, like that's something I figured out over this, is like that's the only reason why I think I still play music. Like I'll always do it, but the live feeling, it's like still like, just doing that is like the community and having everyone involved.
Yeah,
That's what
man.
really gets me off. I'm like this, like just to see everybody and like everyone coming together, not just where it's not just about you, but this, working on songs and stuff. Obviously, we do that shit on our own, but like you guys, like I'm like, I wonder how you guys would be able to do something like that with like a, you know, well, you guys are only a 5 piece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking of like, imagine like a ska band with like all the like just I'd like to do something to organize it with like, tons of different people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
absolutely.
like
Like
a lot of
8-person
a
horn
lot of the
section,
people
backup
behind
singers.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people behind the scenes too that are putting these things together that I don't think that are getting a lot of shine, which was there's like Michael Krusty and Steve Risen from Drive Studios. He's the one who's putting a lot of these together, and like just the mixing job that's done on this. Like someone, your home recording. Some of these recordings sound fucking awesome,
Yeah.
and and
And
like
they're
they
done
they
on their
sound they
iPhones at home.
yeah, it's just like holy shit. Like I'm finding a lot of new ways to communicate ideas. Like I'm not really that savvy on all this shit. Like my friends are like, yeah, you got to get this thing and download this other thing. I'm like, even getting on here, I had to get my fiance to fucking like to figure out how I can get on this. You know what I mean? But like I have learned a lot of like the different ways to communicate stuff. I'm like, especially GarageBand on your phone, or I really like going to the rehearsal spot and then sharing ideas like that. Other people can just write their song and be like, hey, this is what that's what it is. But for me, I really enjoy the like the communication in a room and just like the feel of playing music.
Absolutely. Like, shoulder to shoulder and all that kind of thing. It's funny too. Like, I think I have if it's even possible, a new and greater respect, even more than what it already was, of live venues and rehearsals altogether. Because, like, it was cool to fuck around. I did a couple of funny musical videos, and then a couple of songs with the band, all doing the individual recordings. Like I said, a lot of them were on their iPhones and shit like that, and it
Yeah,
was cool. But like I got tired of that real fast. You know what I mean? I'm just like, get me in a room,
yeah,
like you say. I want to be with
yeah.
my brothers. I want to be doing my
It,
projects. I
it,
want to be sharing ideas.
yeah, and that's what it is, man. It's like that's I like I'm sure every musician will say the same thing. It's when you're doing it like this, and you're still we're trying to find ways to make it work, but it's it's fucking hard, man. And because you kind of live off, well, at least I do. I live off the rush of playing, and like
Yeah,
having
man.
that feel. So when it's not there, it's like, wow, this is really still, or like, but trying to bring that same energy to it. So hopefully that comes across in those recordings. But it's tough. Everyone's trying to figure out a way to do it. Like Creepshow had an opportunity to play in Toronto, a drive-in show.
How was that? There was some talk of us doing that at one point, and then his red and orange zone started moving around again and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this one was it was cool. Like it was down by the water. Actually, fuck, it was the coldest fucking show I've ever played in my life. We dressed up as skeletons, and my hands, like in the sound check, I was like, dude, I don't think I can do this. Like my hands were frozen, and I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
playing guitar. I was like, at one point, I was trying to play a solo, and I just hit one note, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I just played that one thing. I can't move my hands to do anything. I'm
I
not
don't
doing
think
like a
like
ton.
non-guitar players really understand when your hands are cold and what that
Yeah.
really feels like.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fucked up on those little strings.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was weird. Like we were playing, I guess everyone's like tuned into this like a radio station, and it's coming through the PA. But they had yeah, so all the like cars are just set up and shit, and then after like people are honking, during the song if it's like a part they like or whatever, or you get like I don't know, it was just fucking weird, man, and like people just like flicking their lights at you, you know. But yeah, it was interesting. I can say that I've done it. You know, that's in a way I can check off the list. You know,
Yeah,
but
it would be cool if they actually serve food to people's like car door windows and stuff like that, and
yeah,
like in the old
well,
roller skates.
yeah. Right now, it's all trial and error. I think like what they're doing down there is they have it was it was Halloween, so they had like a drive-in Halloween thing, so you could go through all this spooky shit, and then like and there was like people that jumped out and shit like that, and then you park your car. So they're trying, people are trying to make it fun and trying to make it, just trying to do anything, like just trying to be creative. I think that's what we're all trying to do. But like,
Well, you had it
it
right, eh?
turned out to be all right.
You had it right
What's
about
that?
how
Sorry.
like you guys always do put a little twist on it. It's like how we all did the Stomp 25th anniversary, like the online show and all that, and we were in Quebec City.
Yeah.
You were in Toronto, right? But man,
Yeah.
those camera, and I don't know who like we didn't think of doing that kind of thing, man. That camera angle thing going on there from the ceiling, that was fucking wicked.
Yeah. Like Sean and I, that we're talking about. There's like this 360 cam, and we were trying to figure out a way to, like working with that thing. I think it was Made of Ace. They did one of their music videos like that, and Sean found this one that was like a newer version of that, and he was testing it out on his motorcycle, and just like some of the stuff that like the footage he had, I was like, this is sick. Like you could probably do it like a video like that, and we just like set it up in the middle, and it just takes a 360 like view of the band. It was it was pretty. It turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to be at first, just because you don't know, like there's no director, there's no one telling you that it's going to like this is going to look all right, and it's totally different than way we would usually do it. We got a chance to go to a Hard Luck bar, which is my fiance's bar. She's a co-owner of that, so we were trying to do something there where you could donate money and trying to utilize all these spaces that are vacant at the moment, which is, and like a lot of these places are not going to exist if there's no money coming in, or
man, that's a real
it's fucking
fucking
weird,
thing, man. That's a real
it's
thing
real
though,
life. It's and that's someone's livelihood. You know what I mean? So and like Sean and I have been talking about, we're going to try to do some stuff at the Bovine, which is another staple in our community.
Living room.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's Sean's living room too. Yeah, but like, I've been working off and on from there for years, and that's a place that we all call home. So we're trying to make sure that we can, when it gets back into, when we can have more people in a room, we're going to start doing some online shows and stuff like that. There, I'm doing something with High Watt too. I just recently got a High Watt sponsorship.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick. Like, it's the coolest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. It's so cool. And the guy that hooked me up with it, he's like, he's just such a like sweet, kind human being, and he just knows his shit, man. That's someone you should talk to, man. I'll put you in contact with him.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Try some stuff out. But yeah, his he's gonna backline a lot of, like, I'm working on doing this thing called All Ships Rise, where it's just for, like, I'm gonna bring bands in, kind of do like an interview thing, like what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and like have it backlined by High Watt, and so then like the bands don't have to bring anything in. You can just plug in and just play. So it's a lot
That's
easier
the way.
with like you're not like like you don't have to like passing things back and forth and shit. Trying to be cautious about everything too. But that's the idea that we have right now, and hopefully we can run with it and try to do something. But like I said, like we were talking, it's all trial and error. You don't know what's going to work, or but
Well,
this
that's
time
it.
around, like this time around, we should have a better idea from like what we did last time.
Yeah, it's something. You mentioned like so many venues that are like closing down. I was downtown in Montreal today, and there's so many places that are closed right now. It's fucking heartbreaking, But the one good thing I hope is, especially I find with younger bands type thing, like if you play enough and you're touring and stuff like that, you know that every venue is part of your team. Every person working those shows is part of your team and all this kind of thing. I mean, sometimes it kills me when I see, a young band come in and kind of disrespect the sound men and stuff like that, or the people working, but it's like, I think there's a whole new respect for that level of production as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we know that stuff, you know what I mean? So like, it's weird. There's a lot of, it's like some people didn't get spanked when they were kids or something.
Right.
Like what the fuck are you doing? You know, like why are you talking to some like you know like you think you're some like big deal or something? Like this person's doing your sound. It's like the sound person is a part of like I've always like that person's a part of the band. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, like that person, like at least everyone I've ever worked with, and like the more like you know, I guess at the level that we're at now, like not from when we started out, but the more you play and you're like a touring act and shit like that, like these people are very integral to your you know, and what is what the people are going to hear. Why you treat somebody like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
And you
know,
paid
and
good money, you
and
know.
like the better they do, the better you sound. But like wait, yeah, it's just some people
Well, it's kind of you're kind
are
of jamming up
they're
there,
gonna
yeah.
get like there's oh sorry yeah there's a, yeah like I've got a chance to like I know people in all kinds of facets of the like the music industry, you know. So it's like it's to see like to the lighting guy, like we hired a lighting person for our live show, which is a good friend of mine. But if it's like you know here's a $200 or something, if we can try to help out in any way,
Absolutely.
you know. So we like the ticket sales for that can go back to this. I was trying to make it like more of a like well not just myself but Sean and I were trying to make it more of like the way it would be if we were playing live, you know, and try to get as many people involved as possible, just so it just feels right, you know.
Yeah, man, no, for sure, for sure. It's like every time I walk into a club, there's two things I always do. Is A, if we're not traveling with the sound man, make friends with the sound man that is there, and I also make friends with the bouncers.
Yeah, yeah. Please don't kick me out.
Well, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
those are two rules. Yeah, you know, it's a real thing. Now, like I met you when you were playing with Creepshow, and now lately though, you got something else going on, Rules, with Ben singing
Yeah.
as well. I listened to about 14 minutes of it this afternoon. Man, it's not at all what I expected. I love it though.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, like that's something that Ben and I've been working on for at least 4 years. Like we haven't had the chance to really dive into that project. Like we recorded it 3 years ago, and yeah, we it was just like we were just gonna eat acid and just go down to the place, and it was Ben's birthday, so we all just did acid and we recorded that, and afterwards we are like, man, this turned out pretty good. Like we weren't expecting to take that recording that we did that day, like that night. It was a long weekend, put it that way. But we like after we were done, we're like, you know, it was always on the back burner. I was on tour constantly. Like even when I'm not on tour with Creepshow, I come back and I'm playing shows with Organ Thieves or United Snakes, which is another band that I'm currently in. Like well, like another project that I'm working on. So I spread myself pretty thin, and now because of the lockdown, Ben and I were like, man, like this, we've got this thing here, like maybe we could talk about putting it out because Stomp wanted us to put it out like when we first did it, but we couldn't really fulfill the obligations that we had with it, you know. Like I didn't want to
Yeah,
put
for
it out
sure.
and not have like not be able to tour it or not be able to have like a plan, you know what I mean? So
Well, that is one of the
Ben and I have
realities that
been pretty yeah. Like Ben and I've been pretty like on like we're on top of this right now. We've got a lot of cool shit coming out, and the response from it's been fucking amazing too. And like I think the video comes out tomorrow.
Oh, wicked! I didn't know
And then
that.
we've got like 3 other videos that are coming out.
Shit, nice. You put a bunch in the bank right
Ben's
away.
like on his production side. Ben is yeah. We're like we don't have you know the times we can get together. We just work on that. You know, like we're like that's what we've been doing.
No, it's super, man.
We're like we have to go record. Sorry, what were you saying?
It's super cool. I was really excited when I heard
think
Stomp.
cut out there.
Yeah, it all jammed up there for a minute, but I think we're good now. Yeah, I was super stoked that Stomp is putting it out as well. You know, it's really different, and I think it's really cool that Stomp is putting out some outside of the box stuff at the same time. You know. Yeah,
like it's always been predominantly like ska punk. I think that the Rules stuff is definitely like a psychedelic punk rock record, if anything. You know, it's got like, you know, it's got it kind of goes all over the place, but it's more like a punk hardcore record, I guess. So somewhere in there, it's hard to talk about your own fucking music. I don't know. I don't. It is what it is. But it's definitely, it's not something that you kind of hear on Stomp, I guess. You know.
Yeah, but it sounds great, and you know that's what it comes down to. Is just good music is good music, right?
Yeah, and those guys too. It's like Matt and you know, like Matt's been, he's such a fucking awesome person. I'm like, I'm honored to work with the guy, and I just love that he heard it. He's like, yes, this is fucking awesome. So it's nice that we can still keep that in that family, you know, like to keep that working relationship going, you know.
Absolutely, man. Hey, let me ask you, because I am kind of curious, because I do know you, and you know, one thing I love about you, you always have this Zen side to you that's very focused, and on the other hand, you're, you know, a wild motherfucker too, you know, and I love this. But tell me a little about what got you into music. Like at the beginning, do you come from a musical family and that kind of thing growing up? Like, how did this happen?
No, I like my family's from Newfoundland, and like there's like music was always in like, you know what I mean? Like there's like, I heard about mumming when I was really young. So like mummers are people who dress up and they go from house to house and play for drinks, to play for you know, for booze and shit. So like in my house, it was always a lot of drinking, a lot of music and stuff like that, but no one played. But I was always, I don't know, my dad told me just recently, I asked him, I'm like, because I'm going to try to teach him how to play. And he said that like since I was 4, I had a little guitar, but I thought I was like, I kind of like not took it seriously, but I still don't take it that serious, to be honest. But like I just always wanted to play it, man. And I think it was probably around 13 or like 12 or something like that. I started like listening to, there's like Nirvana, Dead Kennedys, like Sonic Youth, like Black Flag. I remember trying to learn like, yeah, like Jealous Again, that shit. I was always trying to like, I just love that stuff. And but yeah, I never come from a like musical family. There was really no one in my family plays, and it's just a weird thing for me, I guess. I just wanted to do it, and I like you know, when you're a kid, I guess a lot of like my best friend, he wanted to play drums. It's just one of those things. It's how it all starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no. I didn't have any training either. Like I didn't take any lessons. I had a friend that played, and he could afford it. Like his parents could afford lessons, so I would call him after the lesson, and I'm like, "How do you do that?" You know.
That's what you do. Just piggyback the lesson, right?
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah. And it was at like this place called Guitars, and it was like where I grew up. But he would get lessons, and I remember going down to the corner store where we used to buy weed, and there was the like the tablature books, and I'd go in there and I just like look at the book with my guitar, go in there, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I tried to figure out the stuff and then like run out of there. But like that's when I was like, I was pretty young at the time. But yeah, like there's really no training really. I was just like I'd go to shows a lot and watch everybody, you know. That was another way of learning for me, at least. But I still do that now, to be honest. I'll watch like I, you know, like trying to get like a ska, like that stuff, coming from like, I listened to Bob Marley first before ska. So like the reverse of how it all started. But I was I couldn't understand how to get that tone, you know, like, or how to get the sound and the percussive part of playing, you know. But like once I got that, I was like, oh, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And everyone's like, "You're not really playing," you know. I was like, "Yeah, I am." It's like, but people thought that like ska and that shit was like, I'm not playing guitar, and I was like, fuck.
It's so true, and it's such a different thing. And it's funny when it comes to like that, you know, skanking or whatever you want to call it. You know, people chase a tone on that for like an entire life. You know what I mean? Because like, it's not like normal guitar player where you're, you know, holding a note and it's, you know, resonating after, or even feeding back. You know, it's not like that. It's just like a tight little sound. So it's hard to focus in on that tone, right?
Yeah, I played in like a ska punk band called Lucky Number 7 when I was I think I was like 18, something like that. And that was I think that was like my third band or something. But it was like it was trying to like like I listened to that like going back and listening to that shit. It's like I had no idea about tone whatsoever. You know, I'm like it was just I think I had like a metal zone pedal and like and like the amp that I had was fucking awesome. Like I still use it to this day. I got the new speakers put in it, but I fucking destroyed that thing because I thought it didn't sound good. I did the old like I took the fork and poked it into the because that's I heard that who was it, Chuck Berry that got like his tone like that.
Oh,
So
way back,
like,
yeah. Keith
I'm gonna
Richards
do
talked
that.
about a
That's
razor
a good
blade.
idea. So I'm like, yeah, like you'd hear about that shit. Like I don't even know, like how did I hear about that? Like so weird. But I'm like, you know, at the age that I was, I didn't think about, you know, I took a fork and I fucking destroyed my amp, and it sounded like shit, but I liked it. You know, I was like playing. I was in a band called First Defense, and I remember playing bass through the Fender Quad Reverb, and just on full. I just you know, and it sounded, it was a cool sound, but like no one would do that to that amp if they knew what they were doing. You know.
For sure, for sure. But you know, on the last Creepshow album there, I thought the guitar tone was fantastic on it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was a lot of that was Steve Reisen.
Okay.
I've kind of just went with like I always liked I had a Marshall modded as an 800, like no, I had a was it a 2000? I think yeah, there was like a Marshall 800, just that with modded, you know, just so there's a little more push to it. I don't know exactly what they did with it. That's like kind of not my realm. Whatever this guy did to my amp sounds fucking sick. So
but that's a whole thing, right? The whole modding of the Marshalls, you know, and it's we're not talking just changing power tubes from, you know, 6L60, L3, whatever they are. You know, they really get in there and, you know, jump parts in the circuits and stuff to get a tone. It's quite the science.
I fucking love those people. Like the people that for me, I like playing it, but like, you know, it's like when I talk to this guy Rob, like the guy from Highwatt, he gets so in depth with this stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? You know, and I'm just like, I'm in awe. Like I think it's super cool, but it's never been my thing. I'm learning more though now because of the Highwatt thing. I got a chance to go down and like try all these different old amps, and you know, and just to, I don't know, I'm very fortunate in that, and so I'm kind of I'm inspired by Rob to learn all this stuff, you know, because
I'm excited I want to try that next time I see you. I've never tried a Highwatt.
Well, like, dude, I think they have them in Montreal too. Like, you could probably go pick one up. They have like warehouses that you can go pick one up and try it out or something, you know. But I'll put you in contact with Rob like after we're done here.
That's wicked. Is it a combo or a half stack?
Dude, I got four, like what we used in the, I'm using it for the rules stuff too, but I got 6 cabs, I got 6 cabinets and three heads or something. Like I'll send you the picture, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. But it's it's like when I set it up, dude, I was looking at it going like, is this for real? Like, there's no way. Like I'm like, it just blew my mind. Like I've never been that happy in my life to plug.
There is something to be said about pushing air, right? You know what I mean? Like, for recording. I mean, these days, a lot of people actually are recording, you know, direct these days, and then using amp modelers and stuff like that. But I'm still a big fan of pushing air. That's why, like recording, I like bass amps mic'd as well as a direct line. You know what I mean? Like you like some of that air.
You want to hear, totally, man. I don't understand. Like my buddy Dave, he uses those Kempers. So we were on tour, and I think we were in Prague. We played with Stomp 41 out there, and I was looking at Dave's rig, and I'm like, "Where's your fucking amp, dude? Like, what's this?" And he's like, he has the Kemper, like that thing, but it's going through, like, you know, there's like the Marshalls, like stacks up to the fucking ceiling, and it sounds incredible. Like, you know, like those do sound really good, but when I tried it, and I'm like, it's just not the same. You know, it's just like there's something missing there. But I think when you play, like, you know, I've been playing in, like, you know, like every little club ever, you know what I mean? And then playing bigger shows and stuff like that. I still want the feeling of like going to my amp. I a lot of the times I play directly in front of my amp because I love that feeling, you know.
When you're doing your sound check, do you put guitar in monitors? Because I'm not a fan of putting guitars in monitors. Sometimes I have to, but I'm not, like, if I can get away with not doing it and just getting a good stage volume as my monitor from my amp, I'm usually way happier.
I started. I think it. I don't know. Certain times I do. But yeah, I've been putting a lot more in there because I used to have it like on stage like really loud, and it was just blowing Ginty's head off, and I can tell that Ginty's about to kill me. You know? and I was like, you know, and then I didn't know for years, but he's a very patient man. So I've just been like getting more of the monitor volume opposed to just cranking my amp on stage. But I just like it loud everywhere. I'm just like
it's guitar, of course.
Yeah, well, especially with Sean too. Like with that's what I've learned with playing like with the Creepshow is, you know, like the upright bass is like it's more of like a hum. You know what I mean? Like it's very percussive. And you know, without the guitar being like bang on and like kind of like, you know, it needs to be in the forefront, you know.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I like to hear it, you know.
What's up with the Creepshow? Anything going on?
Yeah, we've got a record.
Of course you do.
Yeah, like we just haven't we haven't had a chance to record it, and we're kind of, I think we're holding off until we can, you know, go tour it. You know, I don't want. I think we've kind of been in that thing, like with the Rules stuff coming out. I talked to Sean about that too. It's like right now I'm focusing on this. Sean's working, Kenda's working. Actually, like pretty much the whole band's working, like in the woods, except for me. Like, so I'm just like, I'm in the city, but those dudes are out like building houses and shit. And
so they're in the wood. The next Creepshow album is all going to be about running for your life through the woods and, you know, witches and ghosts behind you and shit, fucking wood monsters. And shit.
Yeah, the wind monster. That's what I'll bring that up in the meeting. You're like, I think we should call this wind monsters. Yeah, like, yeah. But Kenda's been writing some amazing songs, man. Like, it's like the Creepshow's definitely taken a turn from what it like the first inception of it. You know, everyone gets older and whatever, but like it's like a lot of Kenda's songs, and there's a lot of cool shit coming out of her, man. Like just like the you know, I'll be writing music for it, you know, same with Sean, but like her words are pretty powerful, man. Like she's got some really deep songs, so like there's that element to it too. But I think we're gonna like this record is gonna be a banger. Like it's a lot of up tempo, fast stuff, you know.
Yeah,
and
man.
And now, and like that was before, like that was right near the beginning of the lockdown. We were like, hey, we should go record. And then we've had a few chances to get together and be like, let's you know, let's try to write some other stuff and everything else. I think because of the lockdown, everything's like, fuck, you know, it's like we're just bent up. So, you know,
man, it's so funny you say that because I feel exactly the same way. We're writing a new record right now. It's not totally done, but we're really moving ahead on it actually. So that's kind of cool. But at the same time, like we had to cut supporting our last album because of the pandemic. Like, you know, we only started touring when it hit for the last album, and so it's like I'm the same way. I don't want the album to come out too soon and not be able to get back on the road as much, because that would suck to have two albums that you can't be on the road with that much. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of fucked, man.
Well, that's like it. Well, in our situation, because we're touring musicians, it's like that's where, you know, like, and how much music's coming out nowadays. It's like you'll just get lost in the ether of all this shit, you know. Like there's so much stuff coming out. If I'm, you know, if we're gonna put something out, it's best to tour it, you know, and like and be in those towns and those cities. But like that being said, with the Rules stuff, we have a plan for their year of like doing online content to keep people engaged, you know, and doing like live streams and shit like that.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
like, yeah,
I mean, you
like
got to do it.
Yeah.
But like you say, like the live show is the
way.
motivation, right?
Totally, man. Yeah, and like the Rules stuff, I can't wait to start playing that shit live too. It's I'll send you that record too. I think it comes out March 5th, and yeah, it's got some great songs on it, man. I'm really proud of it, and I play bass on that too. So it's a totally different world for me. So it's nice to be able to hold it down, you know, instead of.
I didn't know that when I started listening to it. I didn't know. I thought you were playing the guitar. I'm like, man, he's really, you know, he's gone in a different direction. It doesn't really sound like him, man. I'm like, I didn't know he had that. But then after I found out you played the bass on it.
Yeah. That's my friend Adam. He's he played in a band called Say Yes, which was with Jordan from Lux is on Fire, and I can't remember the other dude what he played in, but like that's a wicked record too. If anyone out there wants to hear something cool, it's called Say Yes. He also does some stuff with Walk Off the Earth too. They hire him to play some guitar and piano every once in a while after Mike passed away. So so they got Adam. So yeah, so it's cool. Like and like we've all been friends for so long that it's a really nice family vibe, man. It's like it's nice to get together, and those things are like it's actual fun. You know what I mean? Like not saying that other things aren't fun, but this is like it's actually like we just get together and let everything out. You know, there's really no expectation for anything because no one's heard the band and it doesn't matter really. You know, like there's no pressure for anything. It's just go in and let it all out, and it's nice to hear what came out, man. It's pretty dope.
That's really cool. Hey Chuck, I got a last thing for you.
Yeah.
That's what I like to end my episodes with during this season, because like we're all about sharing music. Off the top of your head, without thinking too much, can you name me 3 albums that everybody should hear at least once in their life, and then 1 guilty pleasure song? What do you got for me?
Everyone should hear Stiff Little Fingers. Everyone should hear anything by Toots and the Maytals. Everybody should hear I don't know. any Bob Marley record. And what else? My buddy used to work out to it. It was the funniest thing ever. Barbie Girl, Barbie World, or some shit.
Right. It got you bopping, eh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just like it's nice, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
brother, it's so great to see your face. I'm gonna have to cut it here because I'm almost out of recording time.
Yeah,
and
man, for sure. Thanks
man,
for having
sooner
me,
dude. Sooner than later, we're gonna be out in a venue somewhere, trying out the high watts and playing shows again.
Right on, dude. Thanks a lot for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's good to see you, dude. Send my love to the rest of the dudes.
Absolutely, and congrats on the new baby. Rules is coming out.
Yeah, March 5th.
Peace out, brother. I love you.
Yeah, man. You too, buddy. Thanks.
Boom! Came and don't know shit.